Hello, greetings, fellow stationeers, and welcome back to Mimas with me, 54 Bear, for episode 24 of our brutal survival on Mimas. Okay, as far as this sorting chute network goes, I am going to be redoing it. I'm not quite certain how. I want to relocate these chutes, or these output chutes, so that I don't have to double stack them like this, because the compromises I'm having to make to get the wiring to fit in and the chutes to fit in the way that I would like basically means I can't do it without using the place anything anywhere type mod, which I really don't want to do. Anyway, that's going to be a fairly major thing. I've printed up a lot of chutes, probably about 70 or 80. I have a feeling I'm going to need a lot more than that, so I will need to be smelting iron and making those. Not quite ready for it today, so that will be the subject of a separate video on another day. Today's silliness involves piping. What a surprise, I hear you say. Well, yes, we do like our piping here, as can be seen by my attempt to recreate an albeit static version of my favourite Windows screensaver. But the task that we need, or I need to address right now, once more circulate or involves these two tanks. These two tanks have been giving me some grief over the course of this playthrough. I started using two because it was the quick and easy way to get rid of an overpressure problem, and now I find myself in a situation where I'm always having to switch between the two, and one hasn't cooled, or I don't want it to cool, or something like that. And the main issue is with switching them is the red pipe network, which feeds into the Stirling generator, may end up getting supplied with gas much colder than I would like. So what I want to do, or what I'm going to do, is set up some piping so that, independent of how I throw this switch here and the setting of these two digital valves, I can overwrite that and put the tank that I want in direct connection with the Stirling. The issue is going to be that if the gas fuel generator is running, I may not want its output going to the same location. I'm not quite certain how I'm going to deal with it. But anyway, let us begin. So right now I have this smallish manifold, which lets me potentially connect the brown waste tank over there, which may have hot gas in it, to the Stirling. I'm not necessarily certain that I would want that going to be used as a receptacle for the exhaust from the gas fuel generator, which seems to be working quite well now. As you can see, battery percentage is 95%. So that should shut off. It did. And the temperature is only 38. So I think we have the cooling system solved. It's going to need to go through a few days worth of cycles to fully stabilize, and we will see then. And I also added this funky little drainage thing, which theoretically will trap any water that condenses in the pipes, and if it reaches pressure and temperature that it needs to turn back to gas, it has a route back into the system. Hopefully that will avoid any pipe breaks. Anyway, so what we are going to do is I'm going to start off by placing pipes where I want the valves to be. So, right, I'm going to want a valve there, so one there, one there. And we'll have the red one still coming in. I will relocate the other valve up there from here. Now, just to get the pipes roughed in, we will do our best to make them funky. So one of these is going to go to the yellow pipe, one is going to go to the pink tank. Now the problem I have with the pink tank, as you may have noticed, is I don't have a lot of room. I don't have a lot of room to work either because this stuff is in the way. So I will take a moment and remove it all. This is superfluous now. I've got a good supply of fuel over there. I don't think I will ever need to reconnect this, but there's always the possibility that I might. Okay, those require drills. And we'll deconstruct these as well. Okay. Bit of an eyesore, gets them out of the way. Yeah, all this stuff has to come up as well, so may as well do that as well. Only put this flooring out here because I got fed up walking over these pipes. Okay. Right, actually we'll just restore them to their original colour by putting them on a pile. Excellent. Right, this flooring can live over here, as can the tanks and their bases. Don't think we'll be using them for a while. Okay, so in order to attach the pipe where I wish it to go on the for this pipe to attach where I want it to go on the pink tank, I don't want the pipe coming out of this thing here. It's going to kind of get in the way. So I'm actually going to move the H2 combustor back. There may be stuff left in it. Let's have a little look-see. It does. Well, when I delete that, I'm not certain where it's going to go. I don't think it would go back into the fuel supply, but just to be safe, I will get rid of that side first. So we'll get rid of that. And we will remove that pipe section. That one and that one. Okay. In fact, we may as well remove that one as well and just replace it with one like that. Okay, so this needs to be deconstructed. And what is it? Wrench next. And hand drill. Okay. So, H2 combustor, it was there. I want to bring it back. So I could actually bring it all the way back there. But I think I only need 2 slots. And that will allow me to still have a fuel analyzer on the floor, should that be desired. Okay, so we will recreate the exhaust manifold, like so. And we will pull up the rest of these. And that one there. Okay, so I'm going to pull these 2 digital valves back. And before I do so, I should probably check the names of them. Was it DV in yellow, and this must be DV in pink. I will almost certainly forget those. But we will, was it drill, I think, for these. I should actually put them the other way around so I didn't have to paint them. Oh. Okay. That is good. We'll get those reconnected. Not that they're actually doing anything at this stage. And I will replace them with T-sections. Like so. In fact, this one I may even change. Let's see, how's it going to go? Actually, no, we'll leave them like that. Okay. Get in some wiring. Right, so that can just go to one of them. That can go to one of them. Do like that. Right, so before I get any further along, I will rename them. DV in yellow and DV in pink. What's the betting I capitalise them? Because that one should have come on. So let's make that N capitalised. No, that didn't make any difference. Well, I don't want to throw that switch. Okay, I do have the laptop here, so I can actually check it. That's weird. It's not letting me put the chip in. Oh, God. Okay. It obviously didn't like being put on top of cables. Right, so we will import the code. We'll examine it. And we will see. No, it is... There are no spaces. And it is regular case. So, cancel that. And rename the renames. Ooh. No. Ah. In yellow. There we go. So, code dealt with it properly. Okay, so we should be golden. I think I've said that before and been wrong. Or if not wrong, then slightly incorrect. It does happen. Right, so we shall rebuild this. Screwdriver and cable. Alrighty. So now with those two extra lengths and a little bit of creative stuff, we can get the pipe funkiness into high gear. Right, so how are we going to arrange this? I got a rough idea in my head what I wanted it to look like, but didn't actually go through the process of planning it in detail. Oh, see, this is no good because that's going to obscure that light. Okay. This will have to come outside this way. Then we'll have lots of squiggles here. Yeah, I don't really like that. I'm not feeling it. So let's convert this to an upward doodad. Don't know if I like this any better, to be honest. Like that. Yeah, I think that looks a little better. Right, so we already have the red feed. Like that. And we want this one to go down, and this one to go that way. Oh. Okay, yes, that's not good. See, that can angle up there, but this can't angle up there because of that pipe. And I really didn't want to reroute that one. But I could make this one the red one. Okay, so are we running at the moment? Yes, we are. Alright, so I'm going to have to be careful when I disconnect this valve that I give it a path to the red pipe network fairly quickly. So we'll make this the red one. Okay, and we will take this out, put this here.
Hunger caution.
And open it up. Okay, so that is now the red one, which means this one has to come out then go back in, otherwise it will have the wrong gases in it. Let us do that first. I'll leave the T sub on it just in case I want to use that again. Right, so this will be a T. This will be curved one, so we'll have two new valves going in there. And these will be the tank ones. And I've still got an issue. Well, thinking about it, the yellow one could actually connect down here, couldn't it? Only 4 pipes left. I'm going to need some more. Right, so we'll make that the yellow one. So we just need to connect the pink one, which means I don't need all of that cable. And I'm thinking just connect it like that and lose this one entirely. Not quite as funky, but it will do. Doesn't have to have that little squiggly bend in it, but I think that's kind of nice. Maybe. Let's have a look and check out color schemes. Very important. Right, so top one, yellow. This one is red. And this one will be hot pink. Okay, so before I go through with this, let me just think it through again. So this will allow me to shut off the supply from the red pipe and access directly either of the two tanks, which is good. But when the gas fuel generator is running, we want it to go somewhere else. So what I think I'm going to do, and I probably should have done this right at the beginning, is I'm going to separate out the exhaust, and rather than it going straight into this red pipe here, I'm going to have it go into this side. So yeah, and yeah, just thinking this through. This analyzer is only really useful for when, well, actually it's useful for monitoring whichever one is active. And it'll be these two here. It reads the pressure and temperature from this analyzer, which is connected to the red pipe network. In fact, I should recolor that because it's the wrong color inside, and it'll be a little confusing. So we'll make it pink and then make it back to red. In fact, I think we'll make it brown to illustrate that it's actually waste. Okay, so will I ever want to monitor the output temperature of that GFG? I don't think so. But knowing the pressure of the system that it's going into is useful. So I can, if I continue to use that, then I have to keep plugging it into the same network. If I plug it in up here, say, if I put a T-junction here and have it coming down like this and then feeding into the waste of the gas fuel generator, then I won't know necessarily from these gauges what it's actually connected to. And I don't really want to put in another set of consoles and another pipe analyzer. I mean, I could certainly afford them, but it gets a little convoluted then, as if it isn't convoluted enough right now. So let me see if I can. No, I think this is the right way of doing it. Or not. You know, I'll try it without first. I think we'll see how we go. Right, so let's connect this. Oop, that was the right way. Alright, and we'll put a couple of valves in. And a couple of spares. One like that, one like that. And let's paint the pink one so I don't get confuddled. Okay, yellow one we can leave as yellow. So to recap, this switch is still going to control the status of these 4 digital valves. So when I am running this, or indeed, you know, when I want to switch over, I can do. But if I have 2 tanks that are both hot because I haven't run stuff through the cooling and I want to extract the heat from it, I can do so. I mean, I'm toying also with the idea of putting in some more batteries, maybe some big ones, you know, some of the larger station batteries. Putting them probably not in this room, probably in a separate room, maybe down here, and just have a few of them and have those just using the output from the Stirling and pretty much run it all the time so that it's always cooling down the gases that we have there. Because you can throw the gas away. That is obviously an option. But all the heat that is trapped in those gases is then lost and wasted. You can't do anything with it. And, you know, because the sun is so weak and we have no real solar to speak of, our only sources of power are either of these 2 generators. The Stirling is much easier to run because it really doesn't care about what it is affected by its operating environment, but it isn't as fussy, let's say, as the gas fuel generator, and it does knock out a fair amount of power for all that. This knocks out 8 kilowatts, this knocks out just over 12, so it's 2/3 of the power but a tenth of the maintenance. So
hydration critical.
It's kind of nice to have. So I may revisit this at a later stage, depending on whether I print up some more batteries, and I think I will, because I've only got the 2 small station batteries in here. It's enough for this size of base, but you know, I'm constantly having the generators kick in. In fact, there it goes again. So yeah, bigger batteries and a few of them would be useful. Okay, so that has taken care of a large part of the problem. Well, potential problem. It's given me some options. I've got reasonable amounts of gases, got an okay amount of fuel. I'm still pulling stuff out. These filters could do with being reconditioned, which we have this filter cleaner mod. And yes, I know it's cheaty, but I just love this little thing. I think it looks cute. I love the little jiggle it does. Oh, that didn't take. There we go. And I don't know, with the Larry cargo arms or whatever, maybe someone can actually have this thing automated with a Larry. I think that would be kind of cute. How are these ones doing? Oh, they could do with it as well. I may even print up another one so I can do 2 at the same time. also been toying with the idea of testing my knowledge of the logic sorter. My knowledge of it is largely non-existent at the moment, but
Hunger critical.
I noticed this morning, today being the 30th of April, that Saint Mick of the Mips, aka Cows Are Evil, has dropped a video explaining how to use said logic sorters. So that is very fortuitous timing. I may well take advantage of that, and because Mick has a unique way of explaining things that literally has taken me from being totally terrified of MIPS to actually being able to do some stuff with it. But yeah, I think maybe I'll do that, because I've noticed a couple of times this last sorter in the line occasionally pooches, and I don't know why. Keep replacing it, and it keeps having issues. So yeah, anything that gets me away from the programming sorter motherboard way of doing things, which on the if you use the DLC computer, is absolutely horrendous. It's borderline useless. If you go back to use the original version of the computer, then it's kind of bearable, but it's still pretty bad. But anyway, that's where we are at the moment. I think I will leave this episode here. The next one will be probably a biggie. It will probably have lots of cuts and jump edits, because we will be looking at this chute system and potentially the sorters as well. So that could be a two-parter, just dealing with that. Yeah, I'll have to play around a little off camera, see how it works, and hopefully you will join me then. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. 54 Bear out.